ज्ञान भी 3 प्रकार के होते हैं, अनुकूल ज्ञान, प्रतिकूल ज्ञान, उदासीन। हम कर्म के अधीन है, वी आर अंडर द पर्व्यू ऑफ द कर्म दैट वी परफॉर्म। कर्म भगवान के अधीन है, कर्म परफॉर्म्स इज ड्यूटी अंडर द पर्व्यू ऑफ भगवान। आनंद रूप ज्ञानात्मकत्वम इति ज्ञानंदैक स्वरूपत्वम। आनंद रूपी ज्ञान के स्वरूप जो है उनको ज्ञानंदैक स्वरूप, ज्ञान और आनंद के स्वरूप कहा गया है। यो नित्यमच्युतपदां भजे गुरुक्म व्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धो रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये। कौडिन्यवंशवरवारिधि पूर्णचन्द्रं श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशपदाम्बुजभृङ्गराजं रङ्गारदेशिकपदाप्तुषदेशिकत्वं श्रीरामकृष्णगुरुवर्यमहं प्रपद्ये। लोकाचार्याय गुरवे कृष्णपादस्य सूरवे संसारभोगिसन्त्रस्त जीवजीवातवे नमः।
श्रीमत्यतीन्द्रपरयोगि पदाब्जभृङ्गं शिवानशैलमणिवर्य दैकपात्रं विज्ञानवेदशिखरोद्भवतत्त्वबोध्यं रामानुजं कलिजितं मणिमाश्रयामः।
श्रीनारायण। As we were studying the Ishwar Prakaranam, we had come down, we understood why the vikaras, the Shad Vikara, they do not affect Bhagavana. The description was as simple as the halwa that we spoke of. Just like the Jivatma is not affected by the vikara of the Jiva, like of the physical body. Why? Because the Atma is Nitya, it does not change, right? And Atma has remained so for eternity, even though it has taken millions and billions and trillions of births. It has remained the way it has always been. It is unaffected by the change of the Prakriti. Just like that, Bhagavana is also unaffected by the changes, even though he is Vyapya Narayana Sthitaha, he is inside and within and around everything. He is unaffected by it. Another reason is because Jivatma is within the Jiva because of the karma it gathers. But Paramatma does not require any karma to enter Jiva or Prakriti. So if he is not bound by karma, that is actually the meaning of Satyatvam. Bhagavan has 5 qualities: Satyatvam, Jnanatvam, Anantatvam, Amalatvam and Anandatvam. These are the 5 qualities of Bhagavan. We understand similar qualities in a different light in here. But if you understand these 5 qualities of Bhagavan, Satyatvam refers to an entity who is not affected by karma. हम कर्म के अधीन है, we are under the purview of the karma that we perform. कर्म भगवान के अधीन है, कर्म performs his duty under the purview of भगवान. उसी को प्रारब्ध देवी कहा गया है. That is called prarabdha because through the prarabdha action is performed. Sanchita and the other avibhagata, other prarabdhas, they remain as a bank, but the action is performed by the prarabdha karma. So that is under the purview of Bhagavan. That is his nature. It is called Satyatvam. Yes, last session Mataji had asked a question as to, there are certain pupils and human beings and maybe animals in this world who in our perception may be in a position where their path may not be right, and it is the eagerness of the Bhagavata, a devotee, to bring those who are in need into the lotus-like feet of the Bhagavan and bring them in close proximity. But more often than not, we find different Jivatmas who, due to their own prarabdha, will refuse to come and refuse to reason. Sama, Dama, Danda, Bheda, nothing works. It is not our responsibility also to deploy Sama, Dama, Danda or Bheda unless the actions of another is affecting the sadhana of you as an individual. Then one of these is necessary. Because in the end, the motive is Bhagavad Prapti. Actually, in Artha Panchaka, we'll understand that is also not the motive. Acharya Abhimana is the motive. But Bhagavad Abhimana is still subpart to Acharya Abhimana, where that is how we'll understand maybe when we study Artha Panchaka. However, in this situation, there are some entities who, even if we pretend to try, will not be able to bring them under the goodness of the Bhagavatas and their proximity. And that's when you leave them. Chanakya Niti also says similar things. I will not get into that part, but there is a very Niti saying in Nepali again. My mother was telling me that it's what you call an ukhan or an idiom. It says that भिरमा जाने गोरुलाई राम भन्न सकिन्छ तर कहाँ धाल्न सकिँदैन. What does that mean? You know, we are grazers, right? Until they banned grazing in Sikkim, we used to graze. My grandfather, even my father, until the 1990, 95, 96, we used to graze cattle. Gopal, that would be an apt word. So in this summers, we'll take the to slightly high altitude for more fodder. In the winters, we'll bring them down because it's a little cold. And that was the cycle. But in the mountains that we live in, we have a lot of ridges, and then you have cliffs.
Mhm.
So it's very important for the herder, the grazer, to be very, he needs to be very alert. Because these cows will graze and they graze towards the cliff, and many a times they fall. So Goru here refers to cow. So if a cow is towards the ridge and is about to fall, cow here, Goru actually refers to a bull. Cows are kept slightly closer. Bulls are generally more aggressive also. They're strong in a different way. And because of that, they graze a little difficult terrain as well. So Bhir is a cliff. So if a bull is about to slip off a cliff, all you can say is Ram, Ram, Ram. You cannot go and lend your shoulder to the bull because the bull will pull you with him. There is nothing that you can do because the bulls are very heavy, very big, and our bala is sappa to that of a bull. And the only thing that you can really do when they are falling is say Ram Ram. And that's what we should also do for those Jivatmas. Ram Ram. And continue with our sadhana. As Acharyas say that even in our traditional system, we don't have Acharyas going to different sishyas, except for Uddhav. The Acharya himself came and asked him as a sishya. That greatness only few people have. However, the rest of us, we yearn for Acharyas. We search, we go to different places. Why? That Bhagavad Tattva we want to understand. And Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. This Navada Bhakti, that Tattva only we want to know. Who are we performing this Bhakti towards? Navada Bhakti I have mentioned, no? I'm sure you would have heard of it also. When Hiranyakashipu is asking Prahlada what is wrong with you, basically, and what have you learned? The first thing he says is this. He mentions that for Bhagavana is only Vishnu is the Param Tattva, and then the Upasana, Navada Bhakti is the pathway. So that's what he's saying. And this Upasya is that Bhagavana. So when Bhagavan Vedvyasa, he composes this Bhagavatam. I keep coming back to Bhagavatam because the rasa of Bhagavana is in the Bhagavatam. Pibhavata Bhagavatam rasam alayam. Right? So the rasa of Bhagavatam is rasa of Bhagavan, Bhagavat Tattva, is in the Bhagavatam. And therefore I keep coming back to it every now and then. So he writes the symposium of 18,000 odd verses. And then he says, who will I teach it to? Now, who is ready for this wisdom? So he sends two of his students to the Aranya, the forest, where Shukacharya is in deep samadhi. And then he actually teaches these two students these two things. verses. And I will tell you these verses in a moment. And what he says is, just go near him and say the verse. So the first verse, the students go near Shukhabrahmam, Shukacharya, and then what they say is, Aho Bakiyam Stanakala Kutam. This shloka, Aho Bakiyam Stanakala Kutam. Aho Bakiyam. Baki is referring to Bakasur's sister, which is Putana. Aho Bakiyam Stanakala Kutam. In the stana, the bosom, what does she put? The Kala Kutam is the name of the poison that she puts on her bosom, and to come and kill all the children in Vrindavan, right? Because it was her idea. She is the one who said, I will do it, and I have this Mayavi Shakti that I look like a damsel. Jighamsa ya payaya dapya sadhvi. Jighamsa. With the intent to kill, she comes. In the intent to kill, she comes as whatever she has taken. Lebhe gatim dhatyuchitam tatonyam. So, even though she came with an intent to kill not just Bhagavana but all the children, putting the poison in her bosom, this Baki, she got the gati of what mothers of Bhagavana got. Devaki, Yashoda, ityadi. They attained moksham. The same gati the mothers got, she also got. Kam vadayalum sharanam vrajema. This Bhagavana is so dayalu, who else's sharan will I perform sharanagati on? This daya, whose will I perform sharanagati upon? Listening to this, Shukacharya came out of his samadhi. He opened his eyes. ऐसे भी दयालु होते हैं भगवान. भगवान ऐसे भी हैं. पर मुझे तो लगा था, I was under the impression that Bhagavana is just nirguna. He's just a sakshi. Sakshi cheta kevalo nirgunascha. In the Upanishad, Bhagavan is just a sakshi. What is a sakshi? It's like this light, prakash. You read the Bhagavatam under it. You speak on, you watch YouTube videos. You sit down and you read the Mahabharata. You read the Ramayana. You read the Upanishad, different ones. You read the Puranas. You speak to different acharyas. Under the same light, the light remains just as is. It does not differentiate between any two things. It is just a witness. Just like that light, that Sakshi Bhagavan must have been, is what I thought. Is what he says. Parantu, Bhagavan is so kripalu. Tell me more about Bhagavan, he says. And then by the time he asks, they tell another shloka. And this basically beautifully describes Bhagavan. And when he becomes the Gopal. Gopal becomes slightly later, right? When he becomes a little older, he starts, because he said, this is our trade. Nanda Baba says, this is our trade. We are the cow herders. And you'll have to learn it. So you start by grazing these calves. And then Bhagavan goes along, he goes past his Sakhi, wearing what he does, how he's looking with a Mora Mukuta. Mora Mukuta Pitambara Sohe Galabai Janti Mala. It's a very beautiful description of Bhagavan as he walks. And then when the dust falls on his Ghanashyam Varanam, and then how it shines like Kanaka gold and so on. There's a beautiful description of such an event. And this was the next essence that was captured by Bhagavan, by these students who were telling Shukha Brahmam about the beauty of Bhagavan. And then the slok goes like this: Barha Pidam Natavara Vapu Karnayo Karnakaram Vibhrad Vasa Kanaka Kapisham Vaijayantim Chamalam just basically beautifully describing what Bhagavan is, how he is, the Pitambara Mala that he is wearing, the gold like Varana that he has, and his Sakhi just walking along with them and singing Bhaja Govindam, basically singing the hymns of Bhagavan as they walk towards it. And that this really caught his attention, and Shukacharya says, tell me more. And then the students say, this is all I was taught. If you want to know more, come to our Guruji. Guruji taught me only this. These are the slokas from the Bhagavatam. It comes later anyway. And then Vedvyasa, he reaches Bhagavan Vedvyasa. And look at the irony. When firstly Shukacharya remained in the womb of his mother for 12 odd years. He didn't want to come out, because he said that the moment I come into the samsara, the Maya will take over me, and I don't want that to happen. Shatakop Suri at Shatakop Swamiji Maharaj. Shatakop is basically, his name is Shatakop because of that. There is the air, the Prakriti. In this air, there is an element apparently called Shatha. And when he was born, he kicked the Shatha out and said, don't touch me, because the moment Shatha touches the forehead is when the Jivatma forgets his 10 births that he had remembered in the womb. Now Shatha Kopsuri came to give Upadesha. Now if he forgets and then again has to remember, it's going to be a pain. So he kicked Shatakopa is why that's where his name comes from. So Shukha Brahman says the same thing, that if I'll be affected by this, and then yet later on Bhagavan himself comes and persuades, and then he comes out. The moment he comes out, he starts walking into the Aranya. He doesn't wait even for the cutting of the umbilical cord, and he walks off. His father running behind him, please wait, at least for your mother you stay for a couple of days. No, nothing doing, he left. Shaunak Maharaj, he describes this of Shukacharya, and he says, Savai nivritta niratah sarvatropekshako munihi kasya va brihitim etam atmarama samabhyasat. The only thing that you need to really remember here is what he says is nivritti nirataha. What is nivritti? Nivritti marga and pravritti marga is, you have to understand these two margas in our Shastra. So our Shastra, whatever the Shastras say, are basically can be divided into two marga. Marga means pathway. The pravritti marga and the nivritti marga. Pravritti marga directs you towards samsara. And Nivritti Marga directs you towards Bhagavad Pada, away from samsara. So जीवा जब संसार की तरफ जाता है, संसार की ओर बढ़ते हैं, when the jiva moves towards samsara, that is called pravritti marga. For instance, aputrasya gatir nasti. जिनका पुत्र ना हो उनकी गति नहीं रहती, वो उनकी दुर्गति होती है, कहा जाता है शास्त्र. Shastra says only a person with a son, putra here refers to son, daughter maybe. What does putra mean basically? Putra, the word putra refers to that entity who will pita or mata, who becomes the nimitta of the salvation of the mata and pita, is called a putra. Otherwise, he's called a kutra. I'm just kidding. But you see, if he is the nimitta of the salvation of the parent, that's why he is called a putra. He was born just for that. Okay. Now, that's the Shastra says. But then again, Shukacharya left everything. Now the Mahatmas, they don't have children. Now, is there no salvation for them? You see. And then you understand the Nivritti Marga. Nivritti Margam basically refers to the forsaking of everything. Just let everything go. That is the only path to Nivritti. Kuch bhi karoge, if you do anything, that would be Pravritti Marga. So to leave everything behind. So Shukha Brahman, the moment he walked out, the Nal also, the umbilical cord also, they didn't have time to cut. There is a Vedic mantra also, when you're cutting the umbilical cord, the father must say. Didn't have time for that. Then the Sutak, when a child is born for the 10 days, there'll be Shuddha, Shuddhikaran, knowledge, they'll be at home. Nobody will come there for the 10 days. Sutak it is called. That also you didn't do. Then later on, Namkaran also nothing happened. Karana Chedan didn't happen. The cutting of the hair. Okay. Nothing, and then Upanayan Sanskara. No Sanskara was done. Why? Because he was in Nivritti Marga. जो व्यक्ति, जो जीवात्मा भगवान के पाद के दिशा में अपने को निवृत्त करता है, उसको निवृत्ति मार्ग कहा जाता है. That is the pathway. If a जीवात्मा is moving towards the Bhagavad Pada, if his actions are towards the Bhagavad Pada, he does not need to abide by Shastra. Because he is already Paramahamsa. That is why the Bhagavatam is called Paramahamsa Shastra. Paramahamsa Samhitayam. Paramahamsyam Samhitayam. When you read the Bhagavatam, Jai Jai Srimad Bhagavate Mahapurane Paramahamsyam Samhitayam. And then whichever skanda, Ashtama Skandhe, Gajendra Mokshane. You see, and Tirtyotsava, whatever you say, Paramahamsa की संहिता है, परमहंस के लिए है, परम मूढ़ के लिए नहीं है, क्योंकि परम मूढ़ के बुद्धि में it will not be able to fructify. परमहंस के लिए, इसलिए he called Shuka Brahman. Shukacharya ji Maharaj came there, and then only he was really eligible to accept this knowledge, accept this wisdom of Bhagavan. When he left with such velocity that father coming behind also didn't come, and the same son has come back for Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the irony of this situation. Even a Paramahamsa like Shukacharya, Yam Prabrajanta Mupetam Apeta Krityam. This is how he just left. Without doing any kritya, any karma, any karyam, any karma, anything. He just left. समस्त कृत्य को त्याग के वो जाते हैं और वही भगवान की जो लीला है उनको सुनने के लिए वापस आते हैं. So if a Paramahamsa himself is coming back to listen to the hymns of Bhagavana and the greatness that is Bhagavana and the Kalyanamaya guna of Bhagavana, then this Bhagavana must be very special. And to understand this Ishvara Tattva becomes very important. सब कर्तव्य से भी बड़ा कर्तव्य है भगवत पादा में भक्ति. All your responsibilities become secondary when the primary responsibility, when you understand, is the bhakti on the lotus-like feet of Bhagavan Sriman Narayana. That is the primary duty of any Jivatma. That must be understood. Now Bhagavana कर्म भी नहीं करते. Now we go back to Tattvatrayam. कर्म भी नहीं करते. He does not do any, perform any karma. Without having that karma within him, he enters Narayana Brahmo Jayate, Narayana Rudro Jayate. Everything is made from Bhagavan. He is within and around everything. Antar Bahishcha Tat Sarvam Vyapya Narayana Stita. He is everywhere. And because he is not bound by karma, he is not affected by the vikar of Srishti. नित्य और मुक्त आत्मा जो है सृष्टि करने में असमर्थ्य हुए, भगवान सामर्थ्य है इसलिए वो भगवान है. It is understood that even Nitya and Mukta essentially will have the capacity to perform. But without the grace of Bhagavan, that will also not be possible. That is one very easily distinguishing factor. Because if you say Satya Kama, Satya Sankalpa, everything the Jivatma becomes when he becomes Mukta, then what difference is there between Bhagavana and Jivatma? And there is a difference, we say. And that difference is understood through this. That yes, there is a difference. And it is for certain reason that the Srishti, the Karta of that Srishti, must be Bhagavana only. Jnanandaika Swarupatvam Nama Ananda Rupa Jnanatmakatvam. Is it the same text there?
Yes, it is the same text. I'm just trying to figure out what slokam are you on?
Jnanandayika Swarupa. I think third or fourth one I would say.
Yes.
Yeah. So ज्ञानंदयिक स्वरूप का तात्पर्य क्या है? What is the meaning of ज्ञानंदयिक स्वरूप? आनंद रूप ज्ञानात्मकत्वमिति ज्ञानंदयिक स्वरूपत्वम. आनंद रूपी ज्ञान के स्वरूप जो हैं उनको ज्ञानंदयिक स्वरूप, ज्ञान और आनंद के स्वरूप कहा गया है. ज्ञान और आनंद, what are these things? What kind of jnana is Bhagavan? What kind of jnana is the swarupa of Bhagavan? Do you understand the question, right? Pratikul, apratikul, ayathartha jnana, that kind of jnana, Bhagavan is not a swarup, that's not Bhagavat swarupam. So that jnana which provides anandam is called anukul jnana. Anukul jnana is refers to as jnana anandayika. Anukul jnana is called ananda. जो ज्ञान अनुकूल नहीं है उसको आनंद नहीं कहते. अनुकूल ज्ञान is called आनंद. Now, अनुकूल ज्ञान, अनुकूल, that which is anukula, that is ananda rupa. Anukul, do you understand what anukul is? For example, when it is dark and you want to read, prakasha is anukul. Yeah. When it is bright and you want to sleep, prakash is pratikul. That's it. That is the difference between anukul and pratikul. So if it is anukul is ananda swarup. If you want to sleep, it is quiet and it is dark, it provides you with bliss, nicely, peaceful sleep you have. If you want to sleep and it's noisy and bright, pratikul, it does not provide you with, you're not very joyful when you're trying to sleep and you're not able to sleep, right? So anukul referring to ananda rupa gyan, but it also refers to the jada. So if any माध्यम जो अनुकूल ज्ञान प्राप्त करते हैं वो जड़ वस्तु को भी आनंद कहा गया है. Even that jada vastu is referred to as anandam. For instance, Bhagavan is wearing also many clothes. That is also ananda. How he is wearing Mora Mukuta Pitambara. So I was just singing that song. Yeah. That's also ananda. But that is not jnana, because that is jada. Now, but Ananda is referring to the Jada Vastu also, but the Jnana can't refer to the Jada Vastu. That's why it is called Ananda Rupa Jnanatvam. Jnanandayika Swarupatvam. It is referring to that Jnana. So, because when you just say Anandam, if he is an Ananda Rupam, it can refer to the Jada Vastu also. उन सब ज्ञान, और when you say Anandam and it is referring to Jnanam, it is referring to Pratikul Jnanam also. So, because we don't want to refer to Pratikul Jnana, we say Ananda Rupatvam. ज्ञान भी तीन प्रकार के होते हैं. अनुकूल ज्ञान, प्रतिकूल ज्ञान, उदासीन ज्ञान. We have understood these things. We'll understand them in greater depth as we move along. Okay. So अनुकूल ज्ञान आनंद प्राप्ति के हेतु है. प्रतिकूल ज्ञान दुख का हेतु है. और प्रतिकूल ज्ञान आगंतुक है. Remember we mentioned आगंतुक समय. आगंतुक is a quality that comes. उदार में जो आता है उसको आगंतुक आता है. That which comes, और that means it is जो आता है वो जाता है.
Incidental.
It comes and then it goes. That which will come, it will go. Which is born, it must die. जातस्य ही ध्रुवोर मृत्यु, है ना. तो वो जो जिसका जन्म होता है उसका मरण भी तय है ना. So that's what it means. that whatever comes, it will go. So agantuk, pratikul jnana, which will come, it will go. That's what agantuk is. So therefore, if you are, let's say you're satisfied with something that happens in this samsara, it comes, and the moment it goes, that satisfaction is lost. That means that must be agantuk. If there is agantuk, that must not be anukul jnana, that must be pratikul jnana. And therefore you will differentiate the moment there is a jnana which comes to you, which does not go, it does not perish. Every time you are listening to it, it is only giving you anandam. That must be anukul jnana. That anukul jnana, the cauldron of anukul jnanam is Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam is Bhagavan, because when Uddhav ji says, what are you going to do in Kali Yugam, what will you have when you will come? He says, I will never leave. I will never leave, and he enters Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. And Bhagavan himself is Bhagavatam. If a person cannot worship Shaligramam, the Shaligramam also requires some Nitya karma and so on. The Vedic karma it requires. If you don't worship it's difficult also. Shaligramam. You can worship the same worship of Shaligramam you do to Bhagavatam. Because Bhagavan only. In essence, essentially you want Bhagavan. How does it matter in what form he comes? क्योंकि जो फॉर्म में भी आते हैं तो भगवान ही, एंड सर्व समर्थ है ईश्वर. भगवान जो रूप में भी आए वो सर्व समर्थ ही होते हैं. तद विष्णोः परमं पदगुं सदा पश्यन्ति शूरयः. सब जगह है और स्वयं एव प्रकाशमानत्वम. जो ज्ञान स्वरूप है वो स्वयं प्रकाशित है. When भगवान योग निद्रा से उठते हैं सृष्टि के लिए, when भगवान gets up from his yoga nidra for सृष्टि, he does not have to learn everything. The balya avastha he remains. In the there is a description of how
the Markandeya Maharishi sees him, right?
Yes. Of, lying like a kid with his toes in his. There is a shlokam now. I'm not getting it in my mind. No. There is another one. It didn't come to me. I'm sorry now. When I was writing it, didn't write it. It'll come somewhere. And it is a beautiful reference of Bhagavan who is suckling his own toes. And the reason he gives is that now that all the Jivatma are within me, there are Bhagavatas also there. Now my Bhagavatas have what they do every day, they have my Charanamritam.
That's what he feeds them.
Yeah, so he feeds them. But another reason is, he says, my Bhagavatam are so happy with my Charanamritam. I don't know what is there in this, I also want to try. Now if I am a big man, an adult looking Bhagavan, and then in front of everybody I suckle on my toes, is not going to look good. So when there is only pralaya and there is nobody there to see me, that time I will do it. And then at that point he does it when there is a pralaya sthiti, when there is nobody to see. So that is the idea. That is that Bhagavan. That must be only Anukul Gyan. And in essence, all Gyan is Anukul Gyan only. It is the differentiation, our limitation of our understanding and the vikara that comes from Prakriti, the tamoguna, the gunas that come with it. Because of the gunas only there is vikara. Or gunas are an outcome of vikara. Because of that, we are not able to understand completely what jnana is, and therefore it becomes pratikul. Because we are not able to understand it, there may come a time when we will understand it, and therefore that will become agantuk, something that has come, it will pass also. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma, बृहदारण्यक उपनिषद. आनंद रूप ज्ञान ही ब्रह्म है. आनंद क्या है? ज्ञान ही आनंद है. व्हाट इज आनंदम? ज्ञान ही आनंद है. किस प्रकार का ज्ञान? अनुकूल ज्ञान जो आनंद प्रदान करते हैं. आनंद रूप कह सकते थे. व्हाई डिड ही से आनंद रूप ज्ञान? ज्ञानानंद रूप. व्हाई डिड ही से? बिकॉज टू डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन जड़ वस्तु. You get anandam from jada vastu also, but when you say jnana, there is no jnana in jada vastu. Therefore, you will say Jnanandaika Rupam Swarupam. Makes sense, right? Asya Jnana Shaktyadi Kalyana Gunaha Nityaha. Asya. So this Bhagavan, Jnana Shaktyadi Kalyana Gunaha Nityaha. So how much of this Kalyana Guna does he have? There must be some quantity. There must be something. Some amount. And when did he get this? These questions you will ask. Firstly, you will ask, when did he get it? Then for how long does he have it? Then you will ask, how much does he have? All these questions will come. So then, what does Lokacharya Swamiji say? Nityaha, anavadhikaha, asankhyaha, nirupadhikaha, nirdoshaha, sadhikarana hitascha. यह जो ज्ञान शक्ति आदि ज्ञान शक्ति वीर्य ऐश्वर्य तेज bala, and actually there are other gunas also. Today we'll only discuss 6 if time permits, hopefully, and briefly as much as we can. Then with time we'll go deeper into each of these qualities also. So these are nitya. So these qualities did not come to Bhagavan. It was not agantuk. Because it was nitya, it must be anukul gyan. If it was agantuk, then it would perish also. Then asankhyaha. How much is it? Can you imagine? Itna hai, itna nahi hai. This kind of question, na? हमारे पास इतना बल है, आपके पास इतना बल है, तो हमारा इस there is a relativity, you know, this basic theory of relativity. There is no theory of relativity here, which works with Bhagavana here, because there is nothing to compare with. Source of all action and inaction, source of all strength, source of all Aishwarya, Shadaishwarya, is Bhagavana himself. So how can you compare a part of him with the whole of him? There is no whole, it is internal because of his anantatvam. Sadhi kara hitascha. Atulaniya hai. There is no comparison. And this Arjuna does great stuti on the same thing in Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the 11th chapter. I wrote that down. I didn't remember the shloka fully. Pitasi lokasya characharasya. Okay. So here, basically what he is saying is that there is nothing as much as you or greater. Because now he has seen the Vishwarupa, no? Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhave Dhikabadhityata Yadi Bhasadisi Shasyad Bhasastasya Mahatmanah Divya Malyambaradharam Divya Gandhanulepanam Sarvascharyamayam Devam Ananta Vishwatomukham. He's describing the Vishwarupa Darshana. So here only he is basically saying that Natvat Samo, there is nothing equal to or greater than you. That is the reason why Manu Maharaj and Satarupa Rani also, when they meditated on Bhagavana, and Bhagavana finally came, and then what Manu asked, he asked is, he said, I want a child like you. Similar to you, he said. So Bhagavana said, there is nothing similar to me but me. That is the one thing I cannot give you, something like me but not me. The only thing like me is me. Ekam Sat. Therefore, I will only come, but not in this life. When you take avatar as Dasharatha, Dharmaraja, that is his name, I will take avatar as your child, as Rama. Because of that, there is nothing like him. Atulaniya. Anavadhikaha, जिसकी सीमा नहीं है. We have a boundary. Everything that we do, it is under the purview of certain boundaries. But Bhagavana, there is no boundary. That is the reason why this Brahmandam will have a boundary. because it is within that which is without any boundary, and there is pralaya also. So the boundary is non-existent. That entity which is boundless is Bhagavan, and that entity which is boundless cannot be measured. It is asankhya. And then nirupadhikaha. There is no utpatti, there is no vinash. And nirdosha. There is no dosha. Now what is dosha? किसी ज्ञान में भी तो दोष होता है. कपट रहित नहीं होता ना सब ज्ञान. सब धर्म कपट रहित होता है. कपट meaning ulterior motive. Let's understand kapat as ulterior motives. Is dharma vimukh or devoid of kapat or some ulterior motive? All dharma is not devoid of kapat, because every dharma shastra will tell you what the phala is, no? That what you are going to get out of it. एवं गजेन्द्रमुपवर्णित निर्विशेष ब्रह्मादयो विविगलिंग विदाभिमान नैते यदोपससे पूर्वनिखिलात्मकत्वा तत्राखिलामरमयो हरिणा विरासीत् तम तद्वदार्थमुपलभ्य जगन्निवास स्तोत्रम निशम्य दिविजय सहसस्त्वद्भिः छन्दोमयेन गरुणेन समुह्यमानश्चक्रायुधो बेगवदाश्वयतो गजेन्द्र. Then it lists out the benefit. What the meaning of the Sharanagati is. Narayana Kavacha also. It says what benefit you are going to get from this reciting the Narayana Kavacham. There is a benefit. Even every part, every stuti, the benefits of these stutis, every karma that you do, है ना, ज्योतिष्टोम यज्ञ करेंगे स्वर्ग प्राप्ति होगी, है ना. If you are doing अश्वमेध यज्ञ में mention, शत अश्वमेध यज्ञ से इंद्र प्राप्त होते हैं, हम इंद्र बनते हैं. So these, everything has an ulterior motive. श्रीमद् भागवतम केवल कपट रहित ज्ञान को प्रदर्शित करते हैं. श्रीमद् भागवतम में ऐसा ज्ञान ही नहीं है जो कपट से युक्त हो. श्रीमद् भागवतम has no ulterior motives. There is not trying to, there is no selfish motive. कपट नहीं है, कपट से विमुख है. और श्रीमद् भागवतम ही भगवान के अवतार हैं. भगवान ही श्रीमद् भागवतम है, और भगवान भी कपट से युक्त नहीं है, कपट से मुक्त है. उनमें दोष नहीं है, निर्दोष है, वो दोष से रहित है. There is no reason for you to doubt or to question any action or inaction. Or put it this way, somebody may say, but maybe he has some fault. You have to understand it in another way. That entity which has no flaw is what we are referring to as Bhagavan. It is not that he does not have any flaws. It is that entity which does not have any flaws is him. That must be Bhagavan. Yeah? That is how we may understand Bhagavan. Now, Jnana Shakti Adi. Shakti Adi. Jnana Shakti Adi. Jnana. What is Jnana? Atit, Vartaman or Anagata. So, in the past, present, future, any time. Bhagavan knows everything. Yugapad jante hain. In any form, any time, every Gyan that can ever exist and will ever exist. In the past, currently happening, in the future. Everything Bhagavan knows. This quality of Bhagavan is called Jnana. षड ऐश्वर्य से युक्त कहते ही रहते हैं, हम ढोली बजाते रहते हैं. Let's understand this षड ऐश्वर्य, the simple one, at least as.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah,
so he knows about the future. That means the future is set. So he's not going to change it.
No. Understand Anantatvam. I think I mentioned this a long time ago. So let's revise this. If you understand Anantatvam, so Atman has gotten free will.
Right.
Free will in the sense that Sankalpa Shakti the Atma has. That's why we perform Sharanagati. If the Sankalpa Shakti was only not there, the whole concept of Shastram is useless. Because
Right.
there is no Sankalpa of Jivatma, and then you are
Right.
sending him to heaven and hell. You see the problem.
Right. Doesn't make sense.
So Sankalpa Shakti Jivatma has. Okay. And then, if the Jivatma has Sankalpa Shakti, then the possibilities that can arise from Srishti is infinite. Now Bhagavan is Kartum Akartum Anyatha Kartum Sarva Samartha. He is also Anantatvam. If Bhagavan is Anantatvam, the possibilities that can arise out of the free will that a Jivatma has is also Anantatvam. That means the possibilities of Srishti that can be is also Anantatvam. So he has that Gyan of the Anantatva possibilities of everything that is going to happen. But not only that, he knows what will happen when and how in any given point in time. If he knows the future, the question is, will it always enact in the same way? If you have infinite possibilities in one of those, it will enact in that way. And he will know it. Because he is Sarva Vyapi. He knows everything because he is everywhere. Does that match now?
Yeah, it does. Because it's not a linear, it's not a straight. It's a network of networks.
Yes.
Multiple networks. And in one of those networks, it will happen that way, but not in.
Yes. And because he is there everywhere.
Right.
In everything. Because it is only him. Pragyanam Brahma. No? That is the Mahavakyam. All the Jnana is only him. Because of this. See, if we because this rasa of Bhagavana is improving our bhakti, but even in that bhakti, without the jnana and vairagya, it will only lead to madness. You must understand that one of the first katha that will ever come. Without jnana and vairagyam, Bhakti Maharani will not be with you. You have to understand, she will always be with jnana, and vairagya will only improve the bhakti. If you have just bhakti but there is no jnana, it will lead to madness because there is no directionality. What are you going towards? You have no understanding of anything. So, कुछ भी आप भक्ति कह सकते हैं. आप you look at a spoon and you will say bhakti. भावना है तो सब कुछ नहीं है. At least some direction you require, and that jnana is necessary. The pragyanam Brahma, that jnana is only Bhagavan. Brahma ही है. This quality of Bhagavana to be, and all these qualities can be logically understood, at least for our intellectual mind. Okay, because once, for many of us, intellectual understanding it allows us to grasp the rasa in better light. People are always under the impression, and I must confess that there are good number of people who are under the impression that just because our acharya, they have great intellect, and because of the intellect they can debate with anybody, हम किसी को भी परास्त कर सकते हैं क्योंकि सिद्धांत is there behind them. And for many years they have been studying this in the core values, and they know what the shastra say. शास्त्र ऐसे शासन करते हैं और ऐसे करना. Even the yoga sutras, the first sutra of Patanjali Yoga Sutra is what? Atha Yoga Anushasanam. आप योगा अनुशासन करते हैं. It dictates what should be done, what should not be done. शास्त्र ही हुआ ना, अनुशासन ही करता है शास्त्र. वही है शास्त्र की गति ही. That is the nature of Shastra. So we somehow under the impression, because there is a lot of jnana, in the sense the intellectual knowledge is there, that these people who have intellectual knowledge, they don't have the bhavana. People are under the impression that because the reason is nowadays in this world, what matters is प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण. हमने देखा है, हमने अनुभव किया है, और वो हम सबको जाके बताते हैं, है ना. I sat here and this divine light came through me, and my life changed. Everything has to be dramatic. I was sitting there, and it must have happened to somebody somewhere. I'm not किसी को नकारना नहीं है ना. I'm not trying to undermine anybody, but to understand it this way, that somebody looked at me, asked me this question, and this entire life changed. Filmy hota hai, it's a little bit. It must happen to somebody somewhere, definitely, but it is not a regular phenomenon. However, Bhagavatas, they don't generally go out and say, tell everybody, जब भागवत रस मिलता है तो कैसे अनुभव करते हैं वो. They don't share it with anybody. It is not necessary. What the Bhagavata will do is he'll give you the jnana and he'll tell you vairagya is required. अनुभव आप स्वयं करोगे. हमने अनुभव किया है, हम ऐसे हैं करके इसकी आवश्यकता ही नहीं है. It is not necessary only.
You cannot translate, you cannot transmit, you cannot do that. They have to experience it on their own.
And it is not necessary also. There is no necessity. And that necessity, people are, and because of that, some people are under the impression that जो ज्ञान वेदांत का मार्ग है, it is only intellectual and nobody is able to feel anything and observe anything, and that will not be right. So if ever they ask, there is so much rasa in the life of a Bhagavata. The only difference is that every experience of that divine presence of Bhagavana is firstly supported by Shastram. So प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण के साथ अनुमान की आवश्यकता ही नहीं है, शब्द प्रमाण है. शब्द प्रमाण के कारण जो अनुभव होता है, अनुमान के संग कह सकते हैं ये भगवान ही थे और ये भगवत तत्व का ही अनुभव हो रहा है. We can say that because there is pramana or there is proof of the feeling that you are having in the Shastram, therefore there is some level of continuity. And that emotion, that feelings that you have can be well channeled and well directed. So it does not go haywire. If that is well channeled and well directed, that jnana in itself is bhakti actually. Jnana is the sukshma roop of bhakti only. First you understand the jnana, that jnana only will turn to bhakti. Like when there is a water, you want to jump into the water. You want to swim. But you understand the waters, you understand different kinds of water. You test the water first and then you jump. Just because you see a water body, you don't want to jump into it. What is the backwaters of Kerala? It'll just suck you in because the undercurrents are there. And then you're gone. So where you shouldn't swim, where you should swim, you should know. So usko gyan kaha jata hai. That gyan is important. And these discourses are trying to build that. It is not trying to say that ज्ञान योग सर्वोपरि है, ये तो नहीं कह रहे हम, परंतु ज्ञान की आवश्यकता है भक्ति के लिए. ज्ञान is important. What ज्ञान? अनुकूल ज्ञान जो आनंद प्रदान करती है, और वो आनंद प्रदान जो करती है वो आनंद ही भक्ति है. आनंद का रस ही भक्ति है. अब भक्ति का रस ही आनंद है. Okay. Sometimes we confuse things, and therefore this, I hope this has at some point has allowed you to oversee that confusion, and just to make sure that if ever somebody asks you and say, I have experienced through yoga sadhana, I have experienced these things and so on, what have you experienced? You say, my experience is very well channeled. That in any, I'm not suddenly ecstatic, and I'm not suddenly morose. I'm in consistency with my ideology and ideas, which are Shastra Sammat, what is Shastra Sammat? Shastra Sammat means Ved Vyasa also had the same thing. We understood, had the same feeling. Shukha Brahmam also had the same feeling, the same experience that Shukha Brahmam had, the Ved Vyasa had, and all our acharyas that have come before us have had. I am also having the same experience. I am not being delusional. That is Shastra Sammat. Kyonki, if you are imagining anything when you are doing yoga sadhana, for instance, anything you can imagine as God, does it become? When you are attaining samadhi, Tatkratu Nyaya takes hold there also. Whatever you are going to imagine, you are going to achieve that only in samadhi. In samadhi, you are imagining a pregnant woman. You will be born as another human being somewhere. You are not going to attain moksha just because you attain samadhi. That karma may come with you. Because of the yoga sadhana, yes, that ability. That karma will come with you. But because whatever smaranam you do at the end, that only you will attain. That is the whole concept of yoga. You are directing that smaranam. That is the concept of bhakti. Yoga and bhakti, how are they different? They are the same. The Ashtanga yoga that Patanjali talks about and mentions and then goes into dhyana is basically talking about the first path of bhakti, Ashtanga yoga. Then in samadhi is parabhakti. Right? From parabhakti, paragyanam. How in the bhakti, why do you need paragyanam? जो ज्ञान ही नहीं होगा तो परम भक्ति उत्पन्न कैसे होगी? Understand first and then move towards it. Don't jump and say, I'm an explorer. You are only an idiot then. Be very careful. You see, that differentiation we are not able to make out nowadays, so I thought I have mentioned it. We should be able to very clearly distinguish and सिद्धांत के संग दृढ़ रहना चाहिए. सनातन धर्म में कोई भी व्यक्ति है, only a person with a siddhanta will ever be able to defend himself. और जो सिद्धांत में दृढ़ है ना, if he is strong in his siddhantam and if the siddhanta is strong, the siddhanta will support him. If the siddhanta itself is weak, then he will follow a stronger siddhanta, and that is the only way. An explorer will always find the best way. Because the siddhanta is strong, that siddhanta will defeat the other siddhanta and say, okay, this way is better, and that must be a good way. If the siddhanta is weak, that person who is a jnani will realize that this is the weaker siddhanta, I should go towards a stronger siddhanta and move to something better. उसी से तो उन्नति होती है, उसी से प्रगति होती है. Only that will allow progress. So in the future when acharyas come and give us more jnanam, we will be able to move towards that light in a better fashion. But if you are blindly following the siddhantam, how much ever somebody is telling you something is better, you will never move. Why should you? There is no need. Because there is no jnana, no. विश्वास में वही विश्वास ही विश्वासघात है. Just by believing only, it will cause issues. The belief with knowledge. There should be belief within that knowledge while you acquire it, and then there should be knowledge upon which you believe. जब ज्ञान है, and vairagya, why do you require? Because if you have knowledge, but then this world is holding you here, then you are not going to pravritti marga nahi hua, wo to nivritti marga nahi hua, it will still be pravritti marga. So, वो मोक्ष के द्वार के ओर नहीं ले जाएगा. That will not take you towards the Bhagavad Pada, Acharya Bhiman. It will not take you towards Acharyam. It will take you only to Ahamkara. Because to be in this world means to have a sense of self. To have a sense of self as I am is only Ahamkara, ego. That Aham vritti is there within you. Therefore, the Bhagavad Prapti is never going to be possible. Therefore, Vairagya is important. Satsanga se hi Vairagya bhi utpatti hoti hai. हमने कल the last session only we had mentioned this. That with Satsangam only that Vairagya will also come. That Gyan will also come. And that will lead. Why Jnana is important? Jnana is Swarupa of Bhagavana only. The Aishwarya of Bhagavana, the Aishwarya, the Shad Aishwarya, are the Swarupa of Bhagavana. How are the Aishwarya different from... If the Aishwaryas were different from Bhagavana, then there would be a Tattva other than Bhagavana. But the Tattva is only Bhagavana. Chitta and Vishishta Vishesha. Bhagavan, Ishvara. So the Tattva is only one. That's why we say Advaita, Vishishta Advaitam. एक ही तत्व है, वो ज्ञान है. What is Bala? When we do something, we have an intent and then we have a limitation of our capacity. So to lift a spoon, you have to move, lift a fork. If you lift, or you do any work, if you're walking, there is some exertion, there is a usage of energy. It requires कुछ परिश्रम की आवश्यकता होती है. You require something, and then using that energy, that you exploit something to garner something else. Exploit the energy that you have consumed through, and then from that. So कुछ परिश्रम की आवश्यकता होती है. Bhagavana requires no parishram. Anything that he does, if you have infinite bala, if you have infinite strength, what parishram do you need? And what is the pramana for that? Bhagavana so easily lifts that Govardhan. One finger. Acharya say he lifted it upside down.
Yep.
With the tip in front, so that the rains don't really affect the animals in the trees. Upside down. Picked up a mountain, turned it over, held it in the little finger. He could have held it in two fingers. Now the least amount of a body part that he could have held it is in the little finger. That's why. He could have held it in his index finger also, thumb also, but the little finger is the smallest. So he held it there so seamlessly for the many days that he held. When he put it back in the exact same place that he had picked it up from. So when a person from afar saw it, he couldn't see the difference between the before and the after. Now that is impressive. If you look at the bodybuilders nowadays, they lift from a certain position, they lift for a certain amount of time. Once they lift, they have to drop. How many bodybuilders have you seen? They lift like some 100 kilos and then they drop in the same place that they lifted from. Can they? Probably not. But Bhagwan is able to do that. So ये लीला यही सिद्ध करती है कि भगवान में बल की ऐश्वर्य है. वराह अवतार, इन द वराह अवतार ऑल्सो भूमि का उद्धार, भूमि देवी का उद्धार करते हैं, वो भी बल के ऐश्वर्य को प्रज्वलित करता है. दैट ऑल्सो शोन. कश्यप अवतार ऑल्सो मंदाचल को उठाते हैं. So in all these things he's showing that it doesn't matter how big or small it is inconsequential in front of the bala of Bhagavan. Just as an example, when you lift a feather, you cannot really compare how much effort it takes. You one blow and then it's gone. You didn't just move also, the feather will move.
It's all part of him. So for him to move one part is so easy. It's like for us having an extra hair on our body.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. Yes, it's basically like that, and so that bala. Why is it important? Is because if he is doing Ananta Srishti, and but if there is limitation to how much he can perform, then the Ananta Srishti, where they'll have the quality of Srishti will reduce in time.
Right.
But it does not. Because the Bala is also Anantatva. Yeah. Then you have Aishwarya. Aishwarya is another Aishwarya in itself. When you are in a classroom, you have a teacher and then the teacher says, unfortunately I'm talking about classroom, let me say it again. When you are in with your Acharya, then your Acharyas are Sishyas, and in a Gurukul, the Acharya takes care of all the Sishyas, and Acharyas keep them under that discipline, and sometimes Acharyas will hit also. You should hit until the age of 15 for women. Women, they don't go to Gurukul. Men, when they go 17, you can hit little bit once in a while. If you're not man, the discipline is not there. Acharyas are little bit, they'll hit. They won't hit to hurt, just to make sure that people are in discipline. Now Acharya, because of he ensures that all of these students that are under him are under his purview. उनको नियमन करके नियम के अतिरिक्त रखते हैं. He disciplines them and keeps them under the law and order of the ashram. And he teaches them the law and order of everything. Bhagavan संपूर्ण सृष्टि को नियमन करते हैं. He is within everything and he ensures that everything functions in the way they do. He ensures that gravity works the way it does. He ensures that the sun is burning every day, every night. He ensures that hydrogen becomes helium with the fusion reaction happens in the sun. He only ensures. Who else will ensure? Somebody has to ensure. It must be him only. You see. He ensures that the light travels the way it does. He ensures that the light bends when there is an increase in gravitational force because of the space-time continuum. All of this he ensures. ये संपूर्ण सृष्टि को नियमन करके रखते हैं. They talk about string theory nowadays. That's what we are talking about anyway. String theory, he is everywhere. And if he's attached, if he's everywhere and he's attached, he must be attracted by strings. And what is a string in 3 dimension? It is a space. So, you see, and that's what it is. If he's everywhere, because you're not able to, a string is a one unidimensional thing. A 2-dimensional will be a sheet. A 3-dimensional will, what will it be? The space. उसी को आकाश कहते हैं अभी. And हम भी कहते हैं because we think that as a dhatu only. Yeah? That's what we are talking about essentially. And therefore, because he is amongst and within everything, everywhere, he under his purview is everything that happens. उनका नियमन करना ही उनका ऐश्वर्य गुण है. To be able to keep everything under his grasp. Why? A king must ensure that everything under him must be in his grasp or in the control of the laws that he only must have put. And Srishti could happen in any way. Maybe in another Srishti gravity pushes. I'll just give you an example. It can happen.
Yeah.
And then he'll make it happen. And scientifically also, if anyone wants to understand, they may want to understand. It may work in that way only. Magnetic pull, one attracts and one repels. It just so happens that in our thing, the gravity just seems to attract. Maybe there is another place where certain gravitational fields repel. Could happen now, we don't know.
Even now it's simultaneously happening. Otherwise, the bodies will not be staying in their locations. Right?
Exactly.
It's not pulling, it's also the other piece is being pushed.
Once right? It's in contact, there is some form of push also. Correct? So all these things. And भगवान नियमन करते हैं तो उसी कारण उनको ऐश्वर्य से ये ऐश्वर्य का तात्पर्य यही है. That this is the meaning of ऐश्वर्य. वीर्य. While having the guna ऐश्वर्य सब में व्याप्त होके, he is within and amongst everything. Kam tat drishtva tadevanu pravishat. He comes within everything, and then he controls the happenings of everything that actually does happen because he is the karta. Sankalpa is ours, but the karta is him only. If you are doing something, if I say I'm going to take a walk now, you are under the impression that you are walking. You have only taken a sankalpa to walk. The walking is done by him only. He is allowing you to walk. That's why he doesn't allow some people to walk. They are on wheelchairs. You see the difference. If we had the Satya Sankalpa to, if you want to walk, we walk. Everybody should be able to walk. But the child who comes out, he tries to walk, doesn't walk. Some children don't walk for many years. 3, 4, 5 years sometimes they don't walk. Why? They are trying to walk. It's not as if they are not trying to walk. It's just not going to happen because it's not agreeable by Bhagavan. Right? So नियंत्रण करते हुए भी he's in spite of the fact that everything is under his purview and he's within everything, he is not nirvikara. Sorry, the vikara of the srishti does not touch him. So he remains nirvikara. The vikara does not affect him. That quality of Bhagavan is called virya. When the vikara does not affect him. And finally, with all the beautiful gunas, there is always some fellow who is stubborn and adamant. You know, even in classrooms, sometimes you have 1 or 2 students, in spite of all the love and prem you give them, you are always disrupting the class. So in the end, what do? You बाहर जाके मुर्गा बनो दे, or then you beat the hell out of him. You beat him. But nowadays you're not allowed to hit, which is good also, because people misuse this whole thing of hitting children. Hitting children is not for you to hit him so that you break him physically. Just remind him in the mind that, the disappointment is there, so you improve. That is the idea, to be honest. If you want to break him, you be Kshatriya only. You go to some training, and Taekwondo anyway, they hit you so much, so you become strong. You see, that's the idea, to make you strong. And if you are physically strong, mentally strong will manifest in the physical body. But there are these people like, for instance, Ravan. For these people also, he has this capacity to bring them under his control, to step on them and say, I am supreme. Sometimes that is also necessary. Hiranyaksha also he came. Hiranyakashipu also he came as an I am the boss. Don't think for a second that you are. And then Shishupala was a different type, but he still hated Bhagavan. But the strength is Ravan. Ravan was what? An asura. What is asur? सुर देवता को कहा जाता है, जो सुर के विरुद्ध है उनको असुर कहा जाता है, बस उतना ही है. दैट्स द ओनली थिंग. रावण ब्राह्मण पुत्र थे, सर्व कर्मकांड आदि सब करते थे. ही यूज्ड टू डू एवरीथिंग because he has such dridta in his karmakanda. Devatas also can't touch him. What is the difference between asura and sura, or asura and all of us? The difference is, when we perform karma kanda, we give ahuti, and the return of ahuti the devata gives us. It's a machinery. It's a give and take. It is. That is the way it is. It is a give and take. That's why Vaishnavas, when we perform ahuti, Bhagavana only. We do Indra Swaha and all of that. However, we basically performing it in the mouth of Bhagavana only. It is all for Bhagavana. He will only distribute it. So how he wants to distribute is said by the Vedam. How Bhagavana is going to distribute is said by the Vedam, and that's what we are reciting. That's the idea, in essence. This ahuti and all we give because of that reason only. But the asuras, they do all these ahutis, but the fruit that they are getting from the devatas, they want all of it. Why? Bhagavana is asimat. There is no limit to what he can give, because he is ananta. Devatas are not ananta. What they can give is limited. So the asuras want all of it. They don't want just this much. They want all of it. Now they are, because of their dridta in the Vedam, dridta in the Shastra, dridta in their karma, they cannot be touched by Devata. They are stronger than Devata firstly. You come and fight them, you will lose. But even to these people, Bhagavana is going to come, and he is going to step on them and say, this is not the way. And that is called Teja. That quality of Bhagavana. जो दबा कर रख सकते हैं. Those people who are misbehaving, for them also he'll ensure that he is there to take care of them in the right way. So everything is not all love and hunky-dory. Sometimes you have to be a little stringent as well. And that is a note to all the Sanatana Dharma practitioners of this world. Through this
madhyam. You cannot take everything for granted.
Don't just take things for granted. And there is a difference between sahanshilata and kayarta. Don't cross the bridge from sahanshilata to kayarta. That under the garb of tolerance, we hide our fear. We should... fear is gone the moment Sharanagati is performed. Now everything else is just the responsibility of the individual. And if there is once you realize that Bhagavana is there and you are his, whatever happens must be for him only. Once that is clear, then that bhaya will never come. If that bhaya doesn't come, then we'll be able to protect ourselves. But we need people who are fighters, who are warriors, who will going to protect at the right time and know the difference between dharma and adharma. A person who does not know dharma and adharma and wants to fight, he is a threat to society. He is a threat to everyone. Like Duryodhan. To be fair, Duryodhan knew the difference between dharma and adharma, but chose adharma.
It was a choice.
It was a known choice. But there are individuals who will not be able to distinguish between dharma and adharma and choose adharma or want to remain adharma, and that becomes a problem. So धर्म के संरक्षण के लिए शंख की आवश्यकता है, ज्ञान की आवश्यकता है, पर चक्र की भी आवश्यकता है. But shankha and chakra can only flourish if the Lakshmi is there. When Lakshmi is there, only Shankha Chakra will flourish. Even Chakra, after leaves also without taking permission of Lakshmi. If Lakshmi says no, Shankha will have to wait. The Chakra will have to wait. So without Lakshmi, nothing seems to be possible. However,
how are we helping or not? I'm not saying I have to help, but I'm saying how is that Shastrams has to be followed by everybody?
Okay. It's so Shastram tells certain people what to do and certain people what not to do. That's the essential idea. For instance, misunderstanding is also there. So the misunderstanding is simple. Women are not allowed to read Shastra is untrue. Women read and study everything they can study. Generally, they study through their husband or through their father. That's the only difference. They don't go to Gurukulam for a simple reason that Gurukulam essentially is for Veda, to study the Veda Acharana under an Acharya. Vedic Acharana is very difficult. So, Shastra says, women don't worry about it. The male will do it for you also. It's the idea. So, the very difficult part, which is extremely difficult to recite the Vedam for long periods of time, doing Sandhya Vidhi and so on, and doing the Nyasa every day, 3 times a day for a Grihasthi. Very, very difficult for a Grihasthi, and women must, there is no sannyasa for women, so they'll have to stay in Grihastha. And it'll be very difficult for you, so let the men do it. So what the men do is, when they're 7 years old and 8 years old, they will get Upanayanam, and then they'll go for 12 to 15 years until they are of age when they have finished their studies. For 15 years, 12 years, they have not gone back home. I understand that. They don't come back home when the woman is still staying at home. Then they learn all the Vedic Shastram and then they come back. All this time, she is learning everything but the Vedam. She learns the Upanishad. She studies the Puranas. She studies Vyakaranam. She can study how to read, how to write, everything. Everything she does also. Of course they do. They have done great acharyas, and they have given mantra diksha also. In certain specific exceptions, Guru Mata has given mantra diksha, which is only permitted by men of the Brahman community. Only they are allowed to give mantra. But women have also given. So there are exceptions there also. Of course, we shouldn't make exception the norm, is what our acharyas say. So they have studied the Shastra. Shastras are a guidebook. It's just that, is as simple as that. When you're doing salt analysis, you follow the guidebook, it's easy. If you're doing it and then you don't follow, it may be difficult, the volumes, this and that may be up and down, and then they'll give you the result of that only. And is the world not following Shastra? Yes, they are not. That's the reason why people like Prabhupada ji also have to come. So if at all anything, Harinam only you do. Nama Sankirtan you do. That is also Shastra. That's not Shastra Viruddham, no? To do Harinama. Anybody can do Harinam. And that's where he came, and then he's Unnati hetu. Bharat Varsha mein hi, where it is a Deva Bhumi, Avatar Bharat Varsha mein hi lete hain. कोई शास्त्र पढ़ते हैं क्या आजकल? How many people study? Think about that. They don't. Why is it? Because of the impact of Kali. there is vikara, there is kali, and because of that, and of course the social and so on happen, and essentially we just say kali. Because of that, it is reducing. So not following the shastram, do you become asura? I don't know if the English translation was good in that Gita Bhasyam you read, I'm sorry. But essentially, asuras are also Vedic. They are called Brahma Rakshas. So like Hiranyakashipu, he never gave any problem to his praja. Hiranyakashipu's praja had Satya Sankalpa. Whatever they wanted, they only had to think. It is better than Swargaloka also, it is described as that. And he was a great king, beloved by everyone. He just had hatred towards Bhagavan. And he said, I am only that. And for whatever they wanted, he only would give. He provided everything for his praja. You see, they are Brahma Rakshasa. They only have Irsha and Dvesh. ये देवता ऐसे हैं, हमें क्यों नहीं मिला? Like that jealousy. That is the asura. That is what is referring to asura. To be that is what I had studied. I don't know. Maybe
that is the interpretation.
That
right?
is the interpretation.
That's what I was
we are
yesterday too, as we were talking about it. It's not that we don't have these qualities. We have these qualities in us, not all the time, right? All the qualities exist in all of us, but it does not exist simultaneously all the time.
Yes.
Right? And the goal is to develop those qualities to exist all the
Yes.
time, so that you can reach there.
That's why we perform Sharanagati. Because of the impossibility of our situation.
Right.
You see, however, performing Sharanagati should not be an excuse to be devoid of samskara. In spite of performing Sharanagati, the duty of a Bhagavata is to perform his rightful duties until he passes, so that he can teach the others. And for the others, our duties we must continuously perform. That is the idea. Now, was the Shastra there for the entire Bhuloka? Yes. Bharata Varsha was the entire Bhuloka at some point. And then it marginalized, it moved outwards. And we know the stories.
Right.
You see, and then some people were thrown out for certain reasons, and then they started their own, and then they became whatever they are. Our understanding is that it started from Bharata Varsha only, and it went outwards. So, the only reason why I say Shastra basically is just trying to encapsulate what we need to do, what we should not do. And if we are trying to, and if we do it, we know if we are doing it through from what the Shastra has said. If it's Shastra Sammat, we know that is Punyamayi. We know that. We are certain. If we do something which may not be mentioned in the Shastra, which is but we don't have, and we do something out of miss, it may be Punyamayi, it may be Pranagat, it may be for Papam. For us, it does not make much of a difference, person who performs Sharanagati. But everybody is not performing, no. You see, in spite of going and feeding them, खा लो बेटा, नहीं खाएंगे, है कि नहीं? सत्य है कि नहीं? आप अपनी,
Right? It's true. It's true.
तो
You
इसलिए,
cannot convince everybody to say that, right? To surrender.
yes, and surrendering also Shastra Sammat only. It is not something coming from somewhere else that I am saying, and it is going against what the Shastra say. Shastra say that only. शासन करने देना चाहिए, शासन होना चाहिए, तभी और ज्ञान और वैराग्य की प्रगति होगी अपने अंदर. शासन करते हैं because शासन करते हैं, if you don't eat onion and garlic and meat and certain kind of vegetables, your mind becomes clear. You can, sattva guna increases only, you can take a knowledge. शास्त्र ही तो कहते हैं don't eat onion garlic. ये खाओगे अच्छी बात नहीं है ना? That's the idea. And how much one can only do as much as they can do. So we can try the best of our abilities to perform our prescribed duties, our karma, our varna, ashrama, dharma to the best of our ability. And leave the rest to Bhagavan. That's what we are leaving to Bhagavan. performing the best of our ability is our kartavya. Of course, post Sharanagati, it is all Bhagavana, then we realize that it's only Bhagavana, yet we continue performing everything in the Hari Smaranam. That's the difference. So, that is not Asura then. How much ever we can do, we will do. But my intention, I don't know if went through, was Bhakti mein we are lean ho jate hain, we become so rasamai that sometimes we forget that, that there are problems around us and we need to protect that also. And keep that in mind as well, is what I was saying.
Yeah.
And everything else will fall in place. Bhagavana is there at all times. Okay. I hope that is a good evening.
Yes,
And,
it is.
Ramaya, Ramabhadraya, Ramachandraya Vedase, Raghunathaaya Nathaya, Sitaya Pataye Namaha, Shrimate Ramanujaya Namaha.